Namaskar, I am Madan Badal, MPhil scholar, MPhil second semester, Nepal Open University. Today I am going to make a short presentation on Principles of Equivalence by Eugene Nalda. For the purpose of presentation, we have divided this essay into two texts, two halves. First half will be presented by my friend Lakshman Gautam, and I am going to present the second half. So, in the later portion of this essay, Naida talks about linguistic and cultural distance of two languages. In terms of linguistic and cultural differences, the languages can be classified into three categories. First, language and culture both are somehow similar. Okay. Persian English, Hebrew Arabic, Nepali Hindi, these languages have somehow similar structure as well as similar cultural connotations. Second group of language are not related but cultures are closely related. So German, Hungarian. Okay. So in this case, the translator has to make a good many formal shifts in translation. And third group of language, different in linguistic affiliation as well as culture. Languages are different as well as culture are also different. So English, Zulu, Greek, Javanese, Nepali, Kiswahili. So what problems are created because of linguistic and cultural distances? So simply our conception may be that similarity may cause is may facilitate and differences may bring challenges or hindrance. But in some cases, translator may be deceived, confused by false friends or cognates. The words which maybe seem superficially similar, but the deeper meaning differs. And okay, that is why the most important thing or the major challenge created in translation because of linguistic and cultural distance is that cultural difference may be challenging to address for the translator than the structural differences. Now, Naida presents the long list of translation, and these definitions of translation, these definitions are based on materials to be translated, the purpose of the publication, and needs of the audience. Okay. So, there are four basic requirements of translation. They are making sense. Definitely the translated text should make sense, good sense. Okay. Next, conveying the spirit and manner of the original. The text should convey the spirit and manner of the original. The message as well as manner should be preserved, and natural and easy form of expression. When we while expressing it in the target language, we should express it in natural and easy form and producing a similar response. That is why translation is the effective blend of matter and manner. So if there is effective blend of the subject matter as well as style of presentation, then that becomes the good translation. Okay. Now, in translation, content and content and style have to be protected, preserved, but it is not always possible. That is why a translator needs to decide whether to give importance to content or form. Okay, so in order to address this controversy, either translators should sacrifice meaning for the sake of style, or the translator should sacrifice form for the sake of meaning. This is why translator is not guided by deterministic rules, but it depends on the probabilistic rules. So almost at the end of the essay, Naida talks the guiding principles of formal equivalence and guiding principles of dynamic equivalence. So first let's talk about the principles of formal equivalence. Okay. So in formal equivalence, there are grammatical units. Okay. Those grammatical units are translated by the same exact grammatical units of the target language. Like nouns are replaced by nouns, verbs are replaced by verbs, all the phrases and sentences are intact, preserving all formal indicators, marks of punctuation, paragraph breaks, poetic indentation, etc. Similarly, there is consistency in word uses, meaning in terms of source context. That is to say, even the idioms are literally translated and clarified by footnote or marginal notes. Now, let's move towards the principles of dynamic equivalence. Naida says the present trend of translation is directed towards the dynamic equivalence. So, he defines dynamic equivalence as the closest natural equivalent to the source language message. So this type of definition contains three essential terms: equivalent, natural, and closest. Equivalence, it is source language oriented; natural, it is target language oriented; and closest, which binds the two orientation together on the basis of highest degree of approximation. Natural is applicable to the three areas of communication processes: receptor language and cultures as a whole, context of the particular message, and the receptor language audience. And Naida says that natural translation is that translation that exhibits no trace of foreign origin. It should read like the original text, or the audience reads it without interruption, feeling that this is the translated text. So, and natural translation involves two principal areas of adaptation: grammar and lexicon. So, grammar. In terms of grammar, there is adjustment in shifting order, using verbs in place of nouns, and substituting nouns for pronouns. Similarly, in terms of lexicon, there are three lexical levels to be considered. Some lexical items, the parallel forms are available in both languages, and for them translation is not complex. Some lexical items, terms which identify culturally different objects but with somehow similar functions, and some lexical items, some terms, they identify cultural specialities. Okay, for example, okay, Aushi, okay, Purnima, or some other cultural specialities, okay, like Kana Guru, like Aushi and Purnima, or what makes translation natural? How to make translation natural? It avoids all crude vulgarities, slang, colloquialisms, onomatopoeic expressions. Next, in accordance with the context of the particular message, the extent to which message fits the receptor language audience not only avoids vulgarities but also incorporates certain positive elements of style for proper emotional tones for the discourse. So that is to say, there are some additions as well as omissions. And sarcasm, irony, or whimsical element, interest must be accurately reflected in dynamic equivalence process. This is all. Thank you very much.